Here is how I use OddsJam, and to be honest, why I love OddsJam. Welcome, my name is Trevor from Juice Bets. Today, going to be talking about OddsJam, the software god basically in this space, and something that's completely turned around my betting career and led to my YouTube channel being made and me being a part of this space, profiting over $12,000 in 4 or 5 months. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to basically go through the software today with you guys, and we can kind of look at what I have found to be my favorite tools, what's made me a lot of money, and, explain a lot of things. We can go through there. So yeah, buckle up. This is going to be a great video for anyone who might be new to plus EV betting or, new to OddsJam's products, and they kind of want to understand what you should be doing when you first start with them and how you should progress into, the optimized process that you want when you're betting on sports. So we're going to get into all of that today, looking at the OddsJam's suite of tools. But before we do so, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. It really helps us out. So let's get into the video. All right, so before we talk about, how I kind of go through my process day to day and use OddsJam, just wanted to go over kind of my stats so far on OddsJam. This doesn't tell the whole story, mainly because I do not track my DFS bets on here. So prize picks, underdog, parlay play, all of those are not included in these numbers here. So, but if we're just talking about straight bets, and it's something that, most of my volume, actually does go into straight bets. I think it's about 80% of my volume goes into the straight bets. So it does tell a large story about, kind of how my journey has been with OddsJam here. As you can see, just off the bat, obviously the profit at $6,700. This spans back to March of 2023. So, it's been 4 or 5 months now. Total stake is about 120,000. Profit margin per wager 5.7%, which I think is a really solid number. I know a buddy of mine has like a 2.5%, and I know that variance does play into it because only 4 months is a pretty small sample size. Like, we'll see how I'm doing a year and a half from now, but 5.7 is pretty solid. I'm also happy with the CLV number. Again, it's kind of variance too, but 78% of the time beating CLV is quite good. If we scroll down to the, sort of profit over time here, you can see a bit of a story. Early in March and April, I was betting very often, really grinding this, and, was very profitable 4 straight weeks. And then went traveling, right? Went traveling for 2 months and a bit here. And obviously in these times here, I only had access to one sports book over in Europe. And yeah, so it was not, this is kind of just like a dead period. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. So if we were to remove this area and then add on this, when I came back this last month here, that's kind of been my journey. So overall, very profitable, pretty steady over time as well. Only 2 months, 3 months, I guess you could say, that are significantly down. We can look at kind of the profit per sports book. Again, doesn't really matter if you're not in Canada because these sports books are all Canadian here. But pretty consistent, pretty profitable on most books. Some are down. Again, lots of variance. So that's basically kind of how I've been on OddsJam. And I'll throw my picket up as well. That kind of shows the DFS books. It doesn't show parlay play, but it shows prize picks and underdog. So let's talk about OddsJam now. Let's talk about kind of how I use their tools and why they're so profitable for me. So first things first, before even getting into plus EV betting, the line shopping abilities with OddsJam is something that is, bar none, in this industry, it is by far the best. It allows you to basically find the best value on the market, right? Like, if you're looking at a stock market and you're seeing a specific stock there, that stock is priced across all the different brokerages all around the world the exact same, right? You're not going to find any deals. Whereas sports books, when they're giving you odds here and the action that they're taking, it's completely different sportsbook to sportsbook. They have different algorithms. Some, they have different processes to find these odds, basically. And that's why you see, Casumo, this Canadian sportsbook here, plus 240, whereas we've got plus 180 on Fliff. That is a huge difference between how much of a favorite they think the Orioles are today. Anyways, OddsJam makes it super simple to say, okay, I want to bet this bet today. Let's say I want to take player bases, and I'm looking to bet Castellanos to get a hit, basically, or to get one base today. If I'm looking at this bet on Fliff, right, and I see 240, I'm like, okay, well, let me check OddsJam, see what's better. I come on here and I see DraftKings is offering it at plus 280. Well, I'm just going to go to my DraftKings account and place it there because I'm getting an extra 40 cents, right? 40 cents of value. So per dollar wagered, you're getting more value. And so it's pretty simple to think, okay, this is going to make me, just because of that, will make me a 10 to 15% better over time. I'm going to be way more profitable because I'm making an extra 40 cents on the dollar, basically. It ends up being 5-10%, but it's still a super, it's basically a life hack if you're a sports bettor. Most people know about this. It's not a crazy idea, but that is by far as a baseline, the best thing that OddsJam can do here for a sports bettor just starting. Now we look at plus EV betting. Now, this has been the true moneymaker for me on OddsJam and basically what carries my profits. And the reason why is because it's just by far the most user-friendly and simple experience you could possibly have. As a newbie, it was easy to get into it immediately. And I will explain it briefly here. I'm not going to get into the math of everything because there's other videos that are better than this for that. I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys as if, you're kind of new to this and, you're looking to get into OddsJam. And, with the plus EV tool, it makes it so easy because of how they lay it out and how, their algorithms and basically their software is perfectly aligned to find these bets. And so basically what they do, they show you exactly a bet that will have positive expected value. So they have no vig odds, which is basically if you were to remove the actual, the tax or the vig from these odds that the sportsbooks are listing, because sportsbooks put tax on these odds because they want to make sure they're making money regardless of the outcome. They have a formula, no vig odds, that will remove that tax. And then you basically compare that. So this is the actual probability of something to happen. There's no longer a tax, but the sportsbook's algorithms are still feeding into, the closest percentage for something to actually happen. Like they're very accurate, right? And so you compare these, you can consider this a percent, chance to hit, right? To win your bet, but in odds form, not in percentage form. So you take this as, okay, this is a chance for it to actually happen. Now let's go find a sports book that is giving me a better payout than what I should be getting. So their algorithms are saying, this is what you should be getting paid for this bet. And a plus EV bet is just finding something that's better than that. So this one, Pereira, plus 150 is way better than plus 139. You're getting paid out much, much more. And OddsJam tells you exactly, okay, you take Pereira on this sports book and you put this amount down. That's another thing how I use OddsJam is I use the Kelly criteria. And so what that is you put in your, your bankroll size, and then you can choose your, basically like how aggressive you want to be with your bankroll. You put a ratio in. So from 0.1 to 1, how aggressive do you want to be? I'm at 0.5, kind of right in the middle there. But you can adjust it to your liking. And so basically that criteria, the Kelly criteria, will show you, will spit out a number for you based on the percent EV. So how much more, basically, how much value you're getting, what the odds are. So a minus 200 bet, your unit size is going to be a way bigger, than a plus 200, right? So that's kind of how that plays into it. And so it tells me, so when I'm looking at this on a day-to-day basis, I come in here, okay, Pereira, cool, on this sports book for this amount. I go to the sports book, I place the bet, and then I come back in here. Another thing that I use on OddsJam is their tracker. So basically there's this plus button here on all of the bets that are available. When you place the bet, you come in here, you click that, and then it marks down the bet name, the sports book, the odds, and how much you've staked. And so you can edit these depending on what you got in. If it's a free bet or an odds boost, you can mark that as well. Just more ways to track it, and then you save it. And so that's how I can have these stats on the bet tracker here, right? That's how I have all of this day to day, with the exact bets I took, all of that. So it's super great for looking at all these stats. Again, there's variance in them, and I'm only 5 months in, so it doesn't mean a whole lot. Anyway, so that's the Plus EV tool. It's a super easy thing to use, and it's a part of my day-to-day life basically at this point. So that's kind of the Plus EV side. Let's go and look at some of their other tools now. So this is OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer, the DFS software to find Plus EV bets, find value, and create profitable parlays or DFS slips. So I have an account on PrizePicks, Underdog, and Parlay Play. I do not have access to all of these other ones up here that a lot of other people do because they're in the States. I'm in Canada, so I've only got these first 3 here, which I'm fine with. It is what it is. Obviously, I'd like to have access to as many as I can, but I'll take the 3 big guys. And what this tool will do is basically the exact same that the Plus EV tool will do for straight bets. So it tells you the bet that you want to place, right? It tells you what the percent chance to hit is. So basically that is the no vig odds in a percent form. The no vig odds are here. What you get on the specific sportsbook that you're looking at, and so you can filter it through the different sportsbooks you want to find. And then it will compare it to the sharpest sportsbooks in the world, including Underdog and Parlay Play. Then you've got Pinnacle and the rest of them here. Kind of the big guys, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, and MGM. And what it will do is it will rank it based on the percent chance to hit. And obviously when you're building these DFS slips, as we know, we need to make sure that we're putting in the highest percent chance to hit legs. If you're being paid out a fixed payment every single time, the only strategy is to let's find the most profitable, and so therefore in this situation, the most favored slips, the most favored legs, put them in there, even if their implied odds and their algo odds are minus 139, you're still being paid out the same as if it was plus 105. So, and obviously they have a higher percent chance to hit. So then you find, 5 or 6, or for Underdog 3 legs to your slip. You place the bet, and you're on your way. Another cool thing that you can do is you can select the plays that you want to put into your slip here, and it will tell you what percent plus EV you are. So just like with the straight bets, it's the exact same thing with the DFS. It'll tell you what your plus EV is. And the reason why we take 5 or 6 picks for this reason, 17% for 5, 18% for 6. Let's bump it down to 4. And we're at 1%. So that's why we always take 5 or 6 pick fluxes. We're not taking 4 or 3 or 2 because they are not plus EV. Anyways, that's the Fantasy Optimizer. How I use it is building profitable long-term winning parlay play, prize picks, and underdog slips. Now, let's look at another one of OddsJam's tools. Not as much used on my side. I know a lot of people do use it. I'm more of a Plus EV, Fantasy Optimizer, Bet Tracker, those tools, line shopping. But there is a great arbitrage tool on OddsJam. It is by far, the finest tool out there for this specifically. Again, the UI that OddsJam's put together really makes it easy to find profitable bets, and that's the best part about them. For the arbitrage tool, they basically tell you what ROI you're going to get. So if you were to put $200 into this arb, you'd be making just under $4 because you're making, just under 2%. And it tells you the two sports books to place the bet on. And, if you've done this before with arbitrage, you need to place, matching numbers because there's different payouts on each side. And so you need to understand what's the most optimal way to make the most money here. And so what we want to do is make it so the payouts match each other. And then so you just profit the difference. With this specific one, if I put, $200 on stake, it will spit out what I have to put on, Bet365. And then I can perfectly calculate, okay, I'll make $8.57 risk free on this play. And that's why the arbitrage tool is so effective, is because you can find these arbitrage opportunities where sports books are a little bit crossed up, and you can make it so you take both sides on two different sports books. It tells you exactly how much to put in, and you actually guarantee a profit, right? You can do this multiple times a day on multiple sports books. And I've done this a decent amount when I was starting out to get through those bonus rollovers. Haven't done so much lately because I am worried about being limited a little bit, just because I am kind of on the radar now. I've been limited on half of the books that I've made accounts on. Actually, probably more than half, let's be honest here. And so that's how I use the arbitrage tool. And it's a great tool. I would highly recommend trying that out when you get OddsJam. Same thing for middles, just another way to try to lock in some profit, but also have a chance at kind of a lottery ticket here. So in this example, if we were to bet the Tiger Cats and the Red Blacks game, we take both sides. It's a slight line variation. So if the Red Blacks were to win by 5, you would cover the Red Blacks and then you would push on the Tie Cats. So you would actually, you would win that one bet with not losing the other. And so that's kind of like a middle opportunity, right? Where if it lands on the 5, you would win that bet and push the other. Oftentimes you would win both sides of the bets. So there's a big enough gap in the middle here, right? And so, yeah, that's kind of how you do a middle. And again, the tool shows you exactly how to do that. So that's basically OddsJam. That's what I use the most. There's tons of resources, tons of calculators as well. We've got, again, a lot of the things that I kind of breezed past today, you can use a calculator for here. So, the Kelly criterion, how you determine the no vig odds, and then you can look at the arbitrage calculator, like I showed you there. And so, yeah, there's tons of those on OddsJam here. But for me, by far the most important tools that what I would recommend to absolutely everybody, it's imperative that you try it out, would definitely be the Plus EV screen, the Lineshopping Tool, and the Bet Tracker. Those are, and obviously the Fantasy Optimizer as well. Those 4 are, kind of the main staples in my day-to-day as a sharp sports bettor. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you do like it. If you did, feel free to ask me any questions in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys next time.